Alright guys, let's recap. So, we took the hoses off and drained the system. Used gloves and zip ties to seal the hole and catch any rain liquid that might fall out while it's in storage. Sorry, that just threw me off for a second. I duct taped the small one for the top and didn't plug it up. I actually just stuffed a rag in the side and then covered it up so dust wouldn't get in it, and tried to cover up the other vacuum tube if we could. And then this one I also taped with gloves. So now everything is now officially good. I even went ahead and just kind of disconnected the sensors, so those are off now too. So it is now officially ready. The next step is putting the new hoses on, fasten everything up, make everything look nice and good, put distilled water in, leave this hose off. Hold on, let me back up. Put all the new hoses on, put distilled water in it, close it, run the bike with the new system. So obviously this is one of the last things to do. You know, we do this, right? So we put everything else on, the tank, everything like that. We leave pretty much the bike, everything else as it is. After everything's been put on, the bike's ready to start running again. Then we'll turn the bike on, run the distilled water through, drain the distilled water just like we drained the coolant, and then refill it up with the engine ice. And that's all we're going to have to do with that. And then the last one we'll fasten on will be this one. And then everything else should be good. By the time we're ready for doing this step, the tank should be back on. The tail should be put back together. The battery should be in. Computer should be back in. I'm probably going to leave the front and everything off, but the tank, the power commander, the tail, the new battery, the tank, and then everything else will be back on. Then we'll do this. Obviously, we'll put the hose on before we put the tank on, but my whole point is everything will be assembled, including the hoses, except for this one, before we start it up and then run it. And then that should be it. Everything else is good to go. There's a couple more things I'm going to show you. First off, I'm going to show you guys how to dispose of this. And then I also did decide, so this is going to be like a coolant change slash hose removal video, and I'm also going to throw in an oil change. Why? Well, because I don't really have to wait to get the new oil. I can just drain it and leave the engine empty. As long as the engine's not on, no oil in the engine's not going to do anything to it. Plus, I really am curious to see just how dirty it is, because we have the setup already set up and we already have everything ready to go. We're actually going to go ahead and we're just going to do it. That way we can just get it out of the way and be done with it. So that's going to be another cool little part of this video we're going to do. And I'll be able to show you guys how we do that. So a couple tools you're going to need for the oil change part of this video. You're going to need some channel locks, maybe not, depends. Definitely going to need the good old Torx set and some elbow grease. You're definitely going to want a dirty towel. This is my clean towel pile. These are going to be my dirty towels. So you get a dirty towel, those, the wrench, and then of course, if you don't mind getting oil on your hands, some gloves, and the oil pan. So what we're going to do, this is the oil right here. That is how you change it. And the filter is right here. Now, we are going to take the filter off to make sure there's no oil in it, put the filter back on slightly. We're not going to fully put the filter back on, but we are going to take it off, drain it, put it back on temporarily until the new one gets here, and drain all the oil out of the bike. We're just going to make sure this thing is completely, with no gas, no coolant, and no oil in it, this thing is about the lightest it can be without taking the motor out. So as of right now, I'm pretty sure the bike just looks so bare bone stock right now. There's just nothing here. But you know, it really is cool to see the bike like this, and I really do appreciate it. All right, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna set you this mode. I'm gonna show you guys how we do it. So this is the plug we're gonna be taking off. I get comfy because you're gonna be here for a minute. Now this size tub is a perfect size. It is a 7-quart drain pan, and it is perfect for this application for the one simple reason that, you know, it's the perfect amount for this oil. And I have a way to properly dispose of the oil also, so that's why we're doing this. And then the coolant, technically it's just water. You can dispose of it. I personally would probably just dump it in a drain somewhere. It's really not going to harm anything if it's just dumped on the ground or whatever, because like I said, it's basically just water. But if you feel the need to go the extra mile and to dispose of that too also, you can do that. All right, so make sure you got everything out of the way here, so nothing is gonna, you don't want the oil getting on anything you don't want to. So have a rag ready, kind of set up just like this, so you can put the oil cap here and clean it off, and that way you can direct stuff straight here, so there's any like drip mess, you keep it contained. So now that you guys see that, now we're gonna properly take it off. So I say get a crescent wrench because sometimes you might need to do it like that. I don't think, well, we will need to though, but it is just something out there. So honestly, I don't know what size this is. I think it might be a T50. I don't know. I haven't actually used a T50 on this bike yet. It is. Wow, would you look at that? T50. So that's what you need. And obviously, the more level you want the bike for changing oil. For us, however, though, we're just going to just tilt it because it's not like a crazy difference. So now that it's broken free, now we can get ready to drain it. Now this is going to get messy, but the good news is it's been in storage, so the oil will not be hot. Now, do you need the oil to be hot for this? No, it makes it come out a little bit faster, but is it going to change anything? I personally don't think so. And see, there's a ring and there's the oil. Boom. Just like that. We're even going to go ahead and just set this down right here. Boom. Very nice drain system. I've never actually put the oil on this, so that was very, very nice. Now we're actually gonna go over on top and take the oil plug off, which we're gonna this is where you're probably gonna want to use a wrench, because this is kind of, for me, it's kind of tight. Loosen that up. Just kind of the same scenario with the coolant. You're gonna want to loosen the top cap to that one right there, just to be able to get everything off appropriately. So we're gonna loosen that, and that should help drain things also. And of course, put this down here. All right, so now that we've actually drained most of the oil, I'm going to take one glove off. I'm not going to take all my gloves off. I'm just going to take one glove off because I don't want the oil there. So now we're going to look at the state of our thing. So first things first, you're going to notice, we're going to change the camera. So first thing you notice, there's going to be a ring here. It's a little ring. It is not damaged, it's a little dirty, so we just got to wipe that off. That's good. And you're going to see right here there's a magnet, right? You see all that metal on there? Yeah, there's some metal shavings in my motor. So it doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. It could mean that it's simply just, metal shavings are actually pretty normal. They're not like crazy thing. Like, it's not like something you should definitely like freak out over. But it is something you want to just pay attention to. If you're having a lot of them every time you change your oil, then that's a problem. But it could be the fact that this oil may have never been changed. It is really fucking black. So it could be that this oil is just very, very dirty. And it's just, hasn't been changed in a long time. So that's probably why. We're going to clean this up properly, give it the nice, good waxy. And then, of course, this looks good also. So anyways, first things first, let's get the oil filter off. Before we do that, we're gonna do now, I'm going to take things off here. Clean it. Again, you don't want to be metal, but like I said, first time if this is the first time you change the oil, I wouldn't jump the gun. I wouldn't just assume that, oh shit, something's wrong, because at the end of the day, if you've never changed oil before, it could be a handful of things. I definitely would be wary about it though, and the next time you change your oil, and you're definitely going to do it more than once, if it's still doing it, then I would address, unfortunately, I would even go as far as saying maybe you should open up the motor, look at the cylinder walls, look at the clutch plates, to really kind of determine what the culprit is. So right now I'm just using some sandpaper from my paint build that I have left over, some 800 grit, and we're going to actually sand this down because it's very dirty, very gritty. Really want to make sure this is nice and clean. We're going to be also cleaning the entire bottom pan here, so this is just kind of the piece of resistance. And since I'm probably not going to have this off again for a couple months, or probably 6 or 7 months, until I change the oil again, because it's still going to be in storage for a little bit. We're just going to do as much as we can to it right now, because like I said, we're not really going to have this off again. Okay. So I mean, you can sit here for a really long time and polish it, you know, make it look nice and pretty, but really it's just a drain bolt. You're never going to see it. It's on the bottom of the bike. I'm just doing this to make sure that it just, you know, isn't like super dirty. Like I'm not going to sit here and like paint it or anything like that. I'm just going to get it good. That oil stinks. It's just a stinky oil. Okay, so now that I've done that, kind of rinse it off with a towel. You know, make sure the magnet, get as much metal off the magnet as you can. You're not gonna be able to get it all off, but just get as much off as you can. It's just enough that it's nice and clean, so that if you need to look at it and see if there's metal sticking to it when you change the oil again, you'll be able to. Now that's done, now we're gonna clean the washer. Just gonna scrub it off. I would not sand anything like this. I only sand the surface of the screw. I didn't sand like the bit or the parts that you need to screw stuff into. So do keep that in mind. I didn't go ham on it, basically, I'm trying to tell you. Put that ring back over it so you don't lose it. And last but not least, the oil cap. This isn't a very big deal. You just, you know, I always personally just take this up to the thing, clean the hole, make sure it's nice and good. Clean this. Now that the oil is drained, we are gonna not screw it back on, but we're just gonna have it sitting here. Just start. We're just gonna start it up. We're not gonna finish it. All right. Now comes the fun part. So the oil filter, the new one I have, the K&N that I have ordered, is gonna be a lot easier because there's actual little knob that you can take. This is typically why I would have a tool like this for an oil change, and unscrew it. This one doesn't have that one. And I don't have a giant ass wrench, so we're gonna have to do this the good old fashioned way. We're gonna just have to fucking screw it off. It sucks because this is not gonna be easy, but it's what you have to do if you do not have a tool that is designed to do it. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna move the oil pan forward. Gonna move this over here. I'm gonna get your rag ready in case you need it, because you're definitely gonna want to probably set it on this because we're gonna clean it. And then now, if you have another glove, wear it, or if not, you can take your rag so you don't have to end up blowing through gloves like crazy. Go over this and try to break it free. It's gonna be very hard. Full disclaimer. Anything you can do to get a grip around it, you know, there's a couple things you can try. I personally don't know any real methods, Um, other than I know it's just a pain. It's just a real pain in the butt. Kind of thinking. I'm trying to see if there's anything else I can do to really get this out. Do I have anything? This is just gonna be very hard. No, it's just a twist off. It's not supposed to be on there like crazy, but if it's never been changed, it's gonna be very hard to turn. And I don't think this one's ever been changed because that is on there. But you're definitely gonna want the pipe and everything removed for this. You don't need the pipe for the oil change part itself, but you are gonna need to get the filter off because it's actually right in the fucking way of the filter. I'm gonna see what else I have to get this off. Oh, this is gonna be tough. Don't really have a tool for this job. But like I said, typically the newer ones have that little knob on the end. This one doesn't. So I'm just gonna have to keep working it until eventually it comes off. Ah, fuck. Ah, okay. It hurts. You could actually, you know, what you could do. Remember this? Remember my videos? I don't know everything. A lot of this stuff I do. It's not my first time doing it, but it's the first time doing it on the bike. One thing you can do, be really careful you don't hit the radiator. Get a hammer. Maybe hit it a little bit. Maybe that'll help break it loose. Maybe as you're turning it too, maybe you hit it. It looks like from the residue near this has never been cleaned. But the good news is, typically when you do this stuff, you just want to have a regular rag with you. I prefer like an actual, like, I prefer to have a rag for everything, like a rag for coolant, a rag for oil, because you don't really want to cross liquids like that because some of the stuff's kind of dangerous. I'm going to use this. I'm going to clean up the bottom here. I'm really going to scrub it down a little bit. This has never been cleaned. I swear to God. There's so many dirty things I found on my bike just from owning it. It's a little astonishing, honestly. Okay, so I'm at the point where I'm open for suggestions. So you keep in mind that the second you crack it open, it's not going to leak oil. So if we want, we can move this temporarily. Just temporarily, not permanently. Move it out of the way. And to get leverage, I'm actually probably going to end up using both my hands here. Try to get this off. This is going to be a long day. Oh, come on. Of course, another part of the battle is also remembering worst direction it needs to be to begin with. Oh man. Yeah. Big time. Oh man. This is hard. This motherfucker is hard. You think you're all that in a bag of chips, don't you? Motherfucker. Obviously, the more you do it, looser it will get. I shouldn't be in the right way. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm turning this the right way. Oh, tired. Oh, damn. Damn, son. So I have an idea. It's not a very smart idea, but it might be an idea. So I actually have one of these laying around. It's a fastener. Right, so we're actually going to take it off. I'm hoping with some lock here. It will fit around. If it does, I have a chance. Nope. Let's see. So close, but no cigar. Okay, plan B. We're gonna get some strapping. I'm gonna strap it, right? I have an idea. Bear with me, folks. I have a plan. As weird as it may be, I have a plan. It's gonna be kind of the trick, really, is getting it to work. So I'm gonna use channel locks. So these are, or vice grips, sorry. And I'm gonna be using the power of metal here. So I'm gonna clamp these so tight that it makes a grip on the filter. The best part about vice grips is I have more than one. If you have more than one, you can do a lot of shit with vice grips. Do a lot of shit. Now we're gonna tighten it. And this is gonna be something that should make this very hard to get off. Gotta kind of go back on it. Okay. So this is kind of a live troubleshooting here. I'm not live, but so now use the leverage of this and try to twist it off. You guys are probably sitting there doing, what the hell are you doing? Well, what I'm doing is improvising. Oh, it's working. Fuck you. Okay. I can't believe it, but it worked. Holy hell. Okay, cool. So now that it's loose, let's make sure it actually is loose. My hand. I actually think I bent it a little bit. Oh yeah, I can twist it. Okay. So now we're gonna get the oil pan, put it directly underneath it, reset up our stage here. Now we're gonna twist it off. There we go. Oh, look at that. It should have been like that the whole time. Okay. Now keep a good grip on this. You don't want to drop it and the oil pan will splash everywhere. Watch out for any gaskets too that come out with it. You don't want to drop anything in there. Okay. So far so good. Drain it. All right. So now that that is draining, now we're gonna let it completely drain. Now you guys see, so there's no gasket or anything in here. It's just metal on metal, right? So we're just gonna clean that up. But there you go. We got it off.